Hey guys, I'm so excited about the Mossy Spring Joy mystery box that Cricut just released, and I love the Smart Label Writable vinyl that comes in there. It is super easy to use and it's great for quick, easy label projects. I have a friend who makes sugar scrubs and she gave me a bunch of mason jars and asked if I could put labels on them for the different types that she makes. I don't know if you call them flavors or how you say it. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to measure the lid. It is circular, so I'm going to put a circle on my canvas so it's already there. And I'm going to measure exactly where the label is going to go. And it's, I'll show you guys when I switch over to my camera after. It's about 2 inches, so I'm going to go just slightly smaller at 1.8 just to make sure that I give myself a little bit of room for error. Now I am using the white that came in this box, so I'm going to click and change to white. Now there are a couple of things that we can do here, and I do have my machine set to Joy, and we have, these are 13 inches. So what I'm going to do first is click make. I'm not going to save it just yet, and I'm going to click without a mat. And I'm doing this because I want to see how many I can fit on one 5.5 by 13 inch sheet. So let's see if I can get 12 in there. I think I'm only going to get 10. Nope, I can get 12. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I know I can get 12, and she wants, I know I have 4 different flavors, whatever we're calling it. So I'm going to make 4 circles. And I'm doing this now because this automatically puts my circle underneath where my text is going to go, so I don't have to arrange everything after. Now, I'm going to show you guys a cool trick you may not know. We're going to click text, which is right over here in our panel on the side, and I'm going to type in, she's doing mint, vanilla, strawberry, and orange. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go over to fonts, and you notice I put them all in one text box. I did this intentionally, and I will show you guys why. So I'm going to filter to writing fonts. That keeps it single line writing font with the pens. So I know that every font that comes up is going to be single line. And if you have the new font edit tool, if you don't, it's rolling out. I know it's kind of slow, so if you don't have it yet, that's fine, but it's going to show you what everything looks like in that font, your exact writing. So I'm going to go up to the BFC fonts. I am a big fan of those, so I'm going to see if I can find one that I know she will like. I think the editorial is very pretty, so let's see what that looks like in a writing font. Now, because we filtered to writing, it already sets our pen to operation and our style to writing when we choose that font. But if we didn't filter to writing and we picked one, you have to make sure your operation is set to pen and your style is set to writing. So please, please, please keep that in mind if you're not filtering to writing. Always double check too, it's better for you. Okay, now I am going to use just a black pen. Now this is for the Joy, so we can use the fine point black pen. It's already set to that, but you can go ahead and check. And I'm doing all of this. Oh, see, I got a red warning, so it says this pen's not compatible. Oh, the image is too large. That's fine, we're going to adjust that after. So sometimes the pens aren't compatible, so always check if you get errors. It will tell you exactly what your error is. Okay, now the reason I kept them all in one text box is because it made it so much easier for me to change the font, make sure everything is set to pen and writing, and all of that. Now all I have to do is go over to advanced and ungroup to lines, and I have 4 individual text boxes. So I can make all my edits, everything that I need to do, and then I can come back and just separate all the text boxes. So for me, I find that so much easier. If you didn't know you could do that, now you do. I am going to also check under images. I'm going to go to advanced search so I can see everything that I want. And I'm going to just type in, we're going to do circle actually. We're going to see what we come up with. I am going to filter to just draw. I don't want to cut, just draw. And I am looking for something like this. or just something a little prettier to fancy up those labels. Okay, let's see. I don't want anything too detailed because they are smaller, just a little something. Okay, so this isn't quite as circular as I want it. This is a little fancy, but we're going to go with this. So actually, I'm going to go with this one. We're going to click the plus sign here. That's going to add it to our canvas. And we're going to size this down. And it is set to pen. We can see our operation, and we're going to make sure that it's set to black as well. It wasn't, but we want to make sure it is. So we're only using one pen. It's the black pen. Okay, we're going to size this down just enough to fit on here. We're going to select both, and we're going to align and center. Now, had I thought of this before, that's not quite as centered as I like it, so I'm going to manually adjust it. Okay, so that's good for me. Had I thought of this before, I would have done all of this. So what I'm going to do now is delete these circles, and I'm just going to duplicate this one. And we'll go back to our 4. And then I'm going to take each one of these and size it down to fit within here. Okay. Oops. Now, mint is not above that circle layer, so I'm going to bring it to the front. That's why it's selecting the wreath when I go to select it, because it's on top of it. So I'm going to center that up. Okay, I'm going to select everything and attach. That keeps it all in one place. And then I'm going to select all of these, and I'm going to go up to arrange, bring to front, and that's going to bring them up on top of the circles and that little laurel wreath that we added. And then I can click here, and if you click just this little arrow on the side, I can see how wide my mint was. It was 0.949 inches wide, and I think that was perfect. So I'm going to use that for all of these, and I'm going to size them down. I might make some of them a little smaller than I care for, but that is what we need. And you know, it really is bigger in person. It just looks small on our screens. So we will put all of these in and line them up how we like them. And then we'll select each set and attach. Again, that keeps it in place, and you'll notice that nothing changes colors because we have our draw and our cut layers set separately, so it knows which layers are going to be drawn with the pen and which are going to be cut with our blade. So that's why nothing changes color when you attach. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and save this now. Sugar scrub labels. And then we're going to click make. And again, remember, we're not using a mat, so that's the first thing we're going to select. And I could fit 12, so I'm going to change my project copies to 3. It will do 3 of each flavor for a total of 12. Once you click apply, it auto-populates. I'm still at 12.75 inches, so I know I have just enough material. I'm going to click continue, and then we can choose our material that we're going to cut. So it is the Smart Label Writable Vinyl Removable. So right here, Smart Label Matteless Writable Vinyl. I know they changed the wording a little bit. So let's head over to my machine, and if you're not familiar with the Joy or Joy Extra, your go button is here. The machine does not have any buttons on it, so once we load it, it's an auto feed. We'll come back to our computer and click go. I'll do that all off camera though. And we will put in our black pen first. When all of the writing is done, our machine will pause, and if you come back to your canvas, it will tell you to switch your blade in. So it does give you that reminder. So let's go over to my machine. Okay, so I have the vinyl here. The color's on the back, so if there is white and transparent, so please make sure you double check that. There's also removable and permanent, but that's written on the front. Okay, so I just take my True Control knife and I just slit right here to cut that tape. There we go. and then I pull it out, and you have, I believe, 4 sheets in here. So just pull one out. They're thicker because they don't require a map, and gray grid line means removable, so if you happen to mix this up with the others, it also says removable on the back, but if you do have scrap pieces, gray means removable. I'm going to take my blade out and grab my black pen. As always, when using the pens, I scribble on a scrap piece of paper first, and this is actually great because normally they run perfectly, but you can see here this one was a little lighter. I had to scribble for a second. This way it doesn't happen on our material, so we don't have a messed up project. Now, a few things I want to mention first. For the Smart Label Writable Vinyl, you do not use gel pens. The gel pens are going to smear. Those are the only pens that you don't want to use. Just the regular ones, but no gel. Now, we're going to butt this up against the gray rollers. It's going to auto feed it. And here are these mason jars that my friend gave me. She actually just gave me one, but you can see in here that there's kind of a dip, so the inner ring is what I measured. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm only putting one on. I'm just making these for her. She's going to take them and do the rest. So, but I will show you guys one as an example. I'm going to go ahead and press go, let them draw and cut, and then we'll come back. Okay, so because we only have one clamp in the Joy and Joy Extra machines, when your pen is done doing all of the drawing, this screen is going to pop up, your machine's going to pause, and the light on the top of your machine is going to blink. So don't get nervous, just check your screen. It's just telling you to put your blade in. So once you swap your pen out for your blade, click go, and it will go through and do all the cutting, and then we'll be done. Okay, so all of the cutting is done, and on my screen it prompts me to unload. So I went ahead and did that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my machine aside, and I take my weeding tool. I use the True Control knife weeding toolkit, and I use this pointy straight tip. You can use whatever one works for you, but this is what I like. Now, there is a little bit of room between where your cut is and the top of your material. That's intentional with all of the machines that self-load smart materials to account for any loading errors. So I take my weeding tool and I start up in this section, and I just peel up from where I know is just what we're going to throw out anyway. And we'll just peel that right off. Okay. And I did have a few that ripped a little bit. So here's my PSA to remove it slower than I did. But we'll go ahead and we'll take one off. And we're just going to line it up over this design. That's actually perfect to cover that design. So I'm very excited about that. And then go ahead and put it on our mason jar, close the lid, and these are perfect actually. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know.